I remembered to thumbnail my art, and the difference feels like night and day. Let's talk about that while I work on this week's practice sketch. Hello and welcome back, beautiful blooms. I'm Galatunia, and I love to ramble about various topics while learning how to draw. Now, if you've been following me on my journey, then you're probably looking at this like, hold up, you did a thumbnail for last week's video, didn't you? And the answer is yeah, I did. Like I mentioned in that vlog, my sketch of Master Roshi's house was technically my week 4 drawing, while this one is my week 3. But I swapped the publishing time frame for these videos because I really wanted to get my feelings out there about Toriyama's passing and his work and how it affected me while I still knew what I wanted to say. Because that happens to all of us, right? We have these eloquent ideas that sound magnificent in our heads, only to forget about them 10 seconds later. I might rearrange them in the playlist later so that anyone curious down the road can watch through and see my progress in chronological order, which that's a thing. I am saving these videos to a playlist so that hopefully a year from now I can look through them all and see my progress over time. So if at any point you want to check those out and binge them, you're more than welcome to go through that playlist, and I'll leave a link to it in the description below. But enough about that. Thumbnailing. I don't mean these. I mean the act of roughly sketching out the shapes and composition of what you want to draw, as I was lovingly corrected in the comments when I first mentioned that back in week 2. Thank you to that person. Also, during this drawing, I didn't think to zoom in while working on the thumbnail, which is why it's going to look a little different compared to what I did for the Kame House sketch. But that is something I do want to keep doing moving forward, because I'm finding that it's even more helpful than I initially thought it would be. As you can hopefully see during my initial thumbnailing phase, I clearly didn't understand the angles I needed to have on the bed to achieve the perspective in the reference screenshot. I was able to pick up right away that the bedpost on the closest corner of the bed hides most of the post in the corner behind it, and that dictated the perspective and the composition of the entire room for me. Yet while sketching out the initial shapes, I still ended up with a kind of wonky overhead angle when I actually wanted to be more on the ground level, if that makes any sense. And I feel like the last couple of sketches where I didn't do this first, I ended up making those sorts of observations the hard way. Because when you dive straight into a piece, or at least I'm finding when I do it, it's easy to get bogged down in all those little details. Like, you gotta have that photo over here, or this fold over there, and I drew this blanket way too close to this thing, and etc. and so on and so forth. And chasing those details can make me lose sight of the entire composition of a piece, which then throws me off of everything else. I am very much that person who can miss the forest for the trees, so thumbnails so far are helping me avoid that trap. I'm also finding I really enjoy scribbling notes on my thumbnails to help remind me what exactly I need to change to get the result I want. So unfortunately for all of you, I'm gonna keep inflicting you all with my chicken scratch because it's helping me. As for what I'm actually drawing, this time it's a screenshot of my apartment within Final Fantasy XIV. It's a conjurer's clinic located in La Nocia, and I'm working on the video showcasing that, so keep an eye on the end card of this video because when that does go live, I will link it here. But I chose this screenshot for a couple of reasons. For one, I really like the idea of drawing the scenery I build in video games, like Final Fantasy XIV. Being able to create my own references has really helped me gain a better understanding of the shapes I need to achieve, and it also gives me a lot of freedom. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If I can build it, I can draw it, and I'll have more control over the angles I want to practice with. Speaking of, side note, I was actually eyeing some of the 3D design humble bundles for this reason, but I think I'm gonna pass on those for right now, just because I have enough that I'm learning already. Like, I don't know if I want to add Unreal Engine on top of everything else, but if you're into scenery art like I am, or if you need some for your projects and you don't want to have to wade through all the AI crap that's out there, you might want to check those out. Not sponsored or affiliated, I just browse Humble Bundle way more than I should. Anyway, another reason I really wanted to draw this particular build is I've been kind of dragging my feet on the video showcasing that particular design, and I've been asking myself, why? Because the script is done, and I do sincerely love showcasing my designs that I build in Final Fantasy XIV, but I'm thinking I might not be going about the videos for them in quite the right way. Like, I'm on the cusp of it, but I'm not there yet. And I know this because these art vlogs are super relaxing for me to work on by comparison, which I wasn't expecting at all when I started them, by the way. For example, it can take me a couple days after each one of these vlogs to recharge, but after that, the scripts for these vlogs essentially write themselves. I'm getting to do the things that I really love doing, which is rambling about random interesting topics and analyzing stuff. Whether I'm analyzing my own work, like I'm doing for this video, or if it's for other media, like I did for the Kame House sketch. Which is kind of funny to me because if you've been paying attention, I don't have a very high opinion of myself. I'm working on that. But when I first tossed the idea around to make these art vlogs while learning to draw, I was really down about myself, and I mentioned that in the very first one. I legitimately kept asking, what the fuck am I even gonna talk about during these? Yet it turns out I have the opposite problem, and I can't shut up. But that's a good thing, because that means I have more to work with when I edit. And you all have been super sweet and supportive for the entire process, which has also helped me in spades, so thank you all very much. What I'm getting at is this ease of writing, this ease of sitting down and getting straight to the brass tacks is a sign to me that I'm doing something right. It doesn't matter if these videos grow my channel, because this is clearly something that's working for me personally. Is for me, and only me. I'm kidding, I do want them to be entertaining for you too, but you get my point. And I'm trying to think of how I can take this energy I'm harnessing in these art vlogs and transfer them to my housing videos. Because if I'm going to keep making any videos at all, then it needs to be done in a way that best suits how I think and work. Currently, it takes me about a month, or over a month in this case, to finish a housing tour video, and I'm realizing the reason for that is there's a lot of tedium to them. Don't get me wrong, I love them, I'm proud of them, and I've learned a lot making them, but tedious is not a word you want associated with your video. And I think they feel tedious because I'm not doing the things I actually enjoy in those videos, right? I'm not giving myself enough screen time to just talk about the design and analyzing it. The vast majority of my scripts for them are just big item lists that I think would be far more effective as a simple infographic somewhere. Now, where I don't know, maybe it would be on Blue Sky, maybe it would be on Pinterest, maybe it would be in the community posts for this channel, because those exist and I do want to use them more. Now, that being said, I did make my videos this way on purpose, mind you, but I made the videos the way I did because tutorials supposedly get more views, and I fell for the trap advice that you have to be an expert on YouTube and blah 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 blah. My friend Wisty Clips shared this video from the Stitchery with me, and she talks about tutorials in a way that spoke to my soul.
Quickly learned that, well, one, I hated making tutorials, but two, tutorials are not great for building a core audience. They're informational, not entertaining.
I don't like making them either. I'm good at them, and I genuinely don't mind busting out a written guide every now and then. I literally wrote a 44-page housing guide helping my friends buy houses in Final Fantasy XIV in a single evening. And what's crazier is I enjoyed it. But for videos specifically, it's kind of mind-numbing in a way I wasn't expecting. And I feel like in the Final Fantasy XIV space, and in the Animal Crossing space too, which that's another area I'd love to do stuff with, there's already enough item lists and tutorials. But there aren't a lot of creators out there talking about why we design in certain ways, why we glitch, why we choose to make custom furniture or walls instead of relying on what the game gives us, or about our tastes, or anything like that. I'm pretty sure HG14 and Ellinet are still the only housing channels that's really ever gone into those discussions. Denmo too. Denmo's been doing this new housing series that I've absolutely been loving. It's been such a refreshing change of pace, which that kind of thing is what I originally was looking to do with my own videos, but then, like I said, got sidetracked trying to follow quote-unquote advice, which between you and me, if I ever get big enough to warrant the idea, I would like to make a video debunking common YouTube advice, because so much of it is garbage, absolute utter garbage. But that is a long way away from now, if that ever happens. But that's just what I think after looking over my channel over the last couple weeks. I'd like to hear what you think, because I know many of you did enjoy the housing videos as they currently are, and I could very well be overthinking it. For now though, I'm really happy with how this week's drawing came out, and every time I interact with my in-game apartment, I'm reminded of how much I love this design, despite it being so simple. And that's something I really want to talk about in that video, is how the simplicity really lends to it doing what I wanted it to do. And if you'd like to catch that video when it comes out, or keep following me as I learn how to draw, then consider subscribing so you don't miss anything. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, see you then!